Hello, everybody. It's Nickens back at it again, and we're going to be talking about the AL and just kind of like the year. It's been disappointing. We kind of all knew coming into the season that this was probably going to help the NL. The schedule change, the lack of structure in conferences was going to probably end up benefiting the NL. And it looks more and more like that's true. And I'm worried and wondering, is the AL going to get 3 teams in this year? Is it going to be that the NL will get all 4 and their last 2 teams are going to be scrapping it out? So let's look into that. We're going to do a deep dive. We're going to look into every single team. And I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let me know. Just make sure you subscribe, look down in the comments, and let's just jump into it. First off, we got to talk about the team that probably is going to make it and is looking really good, and that is the Metro Magic. Their last 2 games, they've got to play the Cobras, and already that looks like a series win just based off what we're looking at. So I highly think that the Magic are probably going to make it in, no sweat, no problem this year. And so they have looked really solid. I thought they were going to struggle with their bats this year, and they have not at all. They have taken it to a new level. RJ Walgate, the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant, whatever you want to say, he has looked so solid on the mound. Jack Nagner has believed in his guys. He's got them going, and it's just good to see AJ Ackerman getting hits, Jack Agner getting hits again, and they need that because once they start rolling, they cannot stop, and they're a force to be reckoned with. So congrats to the Magic. Congrats to them. I think you're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot at this point. The big question is, who's going to be next? What teams are looking like it? If anybody has not disappointed and actually exceeded expectations, it has been the Metro Magic this year. So let's talk about the Coastal Corpus. Man, this has been rough to watch because you have a guy, Caden Irwin, with a 1.14 ERA, absolutely tearing it up. And I think all of us thought going into this year, Cobras are going to struggle with pitching, which, yes, secondary wise they have, but Caden Irwin has been so good. This is what they brought him into the league for. This is what they thought he was capable of. And then you get to the batting, and it's the worst in the league. Now, that's just like a 140 average. If we take out game twos, where a majority of their hits are coming from secondary pitchers, the Coastal Cobras have a .067 average against starting pitchers. A .067 against starting pitchers. Their average is .140. So that means they have to be above in the other ones. Like this, it's that bad. Their on-base percentage is .108. That means once a game. There's usually about 10 at-bats, right? Only one of them is on base. It is bad. It's a dire situation, and the Coastal Cobras really need to do something. This is a generational slump from them. They need to continue improving. They need to look better. And so what do they need to do? They've got to get out of this slump. They're not getting on base. They've got to be able to look at the pitchers and be able to see them better. It is just I've not seen guys who have been this good from the plate. Let's be real. This is Drew Davis, former Silver Slugger. Cole Kawhi, who's been the shining spot of the Cobras this year, I feel like. All right. You're also talking about Andy Durand, who was a Rookie of the Year. Again, a great batter. This is just a generational slump, a funk that they're in. It's just disappointing to see because these guys, we know what they're capable of, and who knows what's going on. They're not just getting on base, and this is something that they're going to have to work through. I mean, this is obviously in baseball and other sports like it. This is, you get hot and you get cold. Sometimes you just have a funk that you're in, and it seems like this year the Coastal Cobras are in that, and that's not what you want to see. I do not see them making the playoffs. I maybe see them getting 4 wins, which would put them out of this bottom tier, like the 2023 Gators or the Southern Seahawks. So I don't think they're that bad because they have a guy like Caden. They have talent on their team. It has just not come together this year. This is a definitely rebuild. Get your confidence back up and go into next season and try to improve upon this previous season because, man, it has been rough. Let's go to the Wildcats. Now, a lot of people, including Tommy Coughlin, were like, "Hey, this Wildcats team, maybe they can improve this year. Maybe they're on the up and up. This might be one of the best teams in MLW." And it looked like it out of the gate. It looked like this Wildcats team was going to continue to do well. They beat the Predators, they beat the Cobras, and then they get to NL play. They're playing other teams in the NL. They get swept by the Eagles. And they don't have an easy schedule for the rest of the year. This does make you worried. Now, they were not able to put really any points on the board against Dallas Allen. And so maybe it's a Dallas thing. It's not really, uh, a maybe it's just a one-off thing for the Wildcats. But you do have some questions. The pitching was not as good, not as sharp going into that game. Patrick Ballman had some troubles. Jackson Pearson had some troubles. You do have Sean Hornberger, but Sean has not looked good. So I know you need to get a guy like Sean back in there because you hear how good, how prolific he is in tournaments. Is that going to be something that bites him in the future? With these last two series, they are 4-5. This was a team you were thinking could be 6-3, could be 5-4, up there with the Magic, and now you're like, oh, like that's not a great way to end up into the going into the All-Star break, and they've got some more games to play. So I think I'm less worried about the Wildcats because at least they have enough guys on that staff, on that team that can, have proven, hey, they can step up in tougher situations. They can put away guys. They can hit, and so that's that's good to see. But it is like they're heading into the last two. The Wildcats, who have to play two of the best teams in the league, or are we going to go with the Predators, who have kind of an easier schedule where they have to play the D-backs, which the D-backs have been a little iffy. They're probably going to make it into the playoffs, but it seems like the D-backs and the Eagles have been a little more prone to slipping than the Mallards and the Gators have been. And so I don't know what to think going into these playoffs. They're going to have to, the Wildcats are really going to have to put it into gear. All right, lastly, let's talk about the Preds. Now, I know that the Preds have been I've been pretty high on, and they are disappointingly 4-5. Like there's really just with the schedule that they had, they should have been at least above 500. I don't see why they are not above 500, especially going into year where they were playing the Magic, they were playing the Wildcats, and then they played the Mallards. Now the Mallards, I understand it's a tough game, but they have the back end of their schedule, and it's really, really difficult. And all the Magic have to do, they get to play the Cobras, which I think at this point the Magic are going to win that series, and then the Magic have to play the Mallards, which is going to be difficult, but I expect them to take one game. And so now the Preds are in this difficult fight where they are battling it out with the Wildcats for this last playoff spot. Let's be real. I think all of the NL is probably going to get in with, the Mallards looking really good. The Eagles get to play the Cobras in Slate 5. They're probably going to make it. The D-backs have a really tough schedule, and so you're really hoping that the D-backs Gators game, they either one of them sweeps the other, so you have a really good chance of maybe getting a higher seed, having to avoid one of the tougher teams. But one of these AL teams is going to make it, and it is going to be which AL team loses the least at this point between the Preds and the Wildcats. And now I do like the Preds better because, yeah, you have MVP Ryan Kratch. But is that going to be consistent enough? You do have Evan Porter back, which I do think if they have Evan Porter, we're not having this conversation. We're not like, I think the Preds would probably be higher up. They would have more wins. You can't avoid injuries, obviously. And so I do like the Preds to pull it out, but it doesn't build confidence when we watched this Preds team lose to, a couple teams that they shouldn't have, which is the Wildcats. And I really do think they could have beat the Mallards. I understand Robles is really good, but this is a team that has hit Robles well in the past. And so I'm a little worried. They do have a tough back end of the schedule, and they need to perform. They need to hit their marks. They need to secondary pitching to do well because they need to win those game twos. Those game twos are going to be crucial because I think Ryan Kratch on any given day he can take a game off Dallas Allen. He can probably take a game off of Jimmy Norp and or Jake Sullivan. All these are good. Both those guys are really good, but I do think Ryan Crash can easily get one or two wins against either of those guys on a good day. And so is the defense gonna be there for the Preds? That's always been a consistent problem. Are they going to show up and hit? That has been a consistent problem. Now you have Levi Fleer who's been playing better, and you do have Evan Porter who has been helping out there. But is that gonna be enough? Is that going to get them over the hedge? And that's the question because this is an AL team that you would expect an AL league. I was hoping that would have three teams in, and at this moment in time, I don't know. Like, are they going to get three teams in? I'm leaning towards, unfortunately, I'm going to lean towards no. I don't know if they can pull it out uh, at the end of the year. Great Lakes Gators on top, 6-3. Midwest Mallards, 6-3. You have a 5-4 Eagles team. And are we really thinking that the downtown Diamondbacks, they don't pick up some wins? Uh, it's going to be difficult to see. I'm going to have to see some more out of these teams, and it might honestly come down to Diamondbacks versus Preds, Slate 5, deciding whether they're going to have four NL teams and not. So I would keep an eye out for that game. That game's probably going to be a big playoff decider, especially when the Eagles get the Cobras. The Magic are going to get the Cobras. So those are probably going to be some wins for them unless the Cobras really turn it around. And the Great Lake Gators, they're going to play like Wildcats. So it's like the top teams not looking like they're going to be faltering anytime soon. And so are these teams really going to pull it out? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think that they're going to be four NL teams in or three? And what do you guys think about the AL in general? What has happened this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I'm Nickens. I'll see you guys later. Peace.